Okay, with the today's session, right, we will see all these things. Okay, uh, like case statement and how we can handle null values and why we are using the case statement in SAQL part two, right? We can see about co-group and we can see about fill and why we use time series and why we use limit, right? And all these things we can see for today. Okay. Mm, so let me open a new SAQL with the same opportunity data set. Okay. Here, for example, how we are going to use the case statement. Okay, let me explain you. Okay, here we can take anything like any dimension, like we can take the stage name, okay, and we can take some other thing, and we can take the compare table also, okay. And when we are seeing about the case statement, like let me explain you why we are using the case statement, right? Case statement normally when we are using, if you want to replace any other values with the case statement, right? Like if it is closed last and you need to change it to only last or closed one, and when you want to change it, we can use the case statement. And here also we can use amount, right? Like I have taken two measures and one uh two dimensions. Let me explain along with this. Okay. So when we switch to SAQL, normally the first step will get us the load the data set, right? Ideally, we'll get the load data set, and we have to taken two dimension, which is closed and stage name, and it will be grouped by the aggregate measures. Why? When we are taking aggregations like count and amount, it should be grouped because any aggregation will have the group by. Okay, it cannot be independent with. We cannot directly take the aggregations whenever we are taking dimensions. It should be grouped by it, and we should take the values against it. Okay, so. Now it has formed a query for us, right? So suppose we can see closed one, closed last, needs analysis, like all these things we are able to see. And if you want to, and if we are trying to replace this is closed is equal to true with a false, right? Ideally, we'll try to replace it. Why I'm trying to replace this is this value is false in the system, but it is showing wrongly showing as true. Or if it is showing any null values, right? Like how we can replace this, right? We can use a case statement here. Okay, you can directly use a replace, but there is an option to use case statement also while doing this, like while we are handling null values or anything, and we can replace the measures also. I will tell you how to replace it. Okay, case when stage name equal to okay closed last, it means I am giving the parameter if it is a closed last. Okay, then uh okay, I cannot write it here. Actually, I'm changing the stage name column, is closed column. So I need to write it here. Okay. Then it should be true. Okay. Then it should be false. Sorry. Then it should be false. Else it should be displaying the same values. Okay. So what I'm going to do is else I'm going to put the same column name here. This is the syntax for it. So when I do this, you can ideally see which is true already will be changed to false, and remaining all other column will be coming as same. Okay. This is the example of the case statement. One example of case statement, which was already true, but I have changed it to false. Why I have changed it to false is I don't want to display like true for closed loss. That's why I changed it to false. Okay. This is one option why we can use the case statement. So based on one particular condition or most of the conditions, whatever conditions we are providing, it will work in a such a way. Okay. Here we can use the in condition also. Okay, instead of using equal to, we can use in condition. What is the use of using in condition is if any other thing needs to be changed, any other true value need to be changed to false, or any false value or any value if you want to change according to the particular condition, then we can use the case statement. Now see the query, like what it is going to happen. Now even the true values has been changed to false. Okay, so ideally this should not happen, right? It should display the same values which we have in is close value, right? We can directly do it, or 1 minute. We can directly do it with close slash, or we can just instead of replacing the values here in the query, we can keep it as it is, but this will do the same thing. So ideally, instead of going here, we can either use the replace function. Okay, now we are having two metrics which says A and B. A is showing the count and B is showing the amount. Okay, so for a particular case I need to show the amount, and particular case I want to show the amount means there also we can write a case statement. Okay, so based on the conditions which we write, it provides us the values. Okay, case when see, here again I'm writing the stage name. For this it should provide me the count. For others it should provide me the amount. Okay, so we can write it inside the measure also. What it happens is we are changing the measure values, okay, according to our requirement. But this will normally will not change against count and amount. We will change these two things based on our requirement. Like if you want to show any other values, like for one particular values, we would be like required to show not sales. For others, we should be able to show the sales amount, right? For only those cases, we will use it. For others, we will not use it. Okay. Uh, Okay, so now you can see, right, like there is a change in the query. We had A and B two measures. Now it has been combined into one measures where A is showing the count, and for close last and close one, and for other stages we are showing the amount, right? This is why we use the case statement. And if you want to replace any null values also, right, we'll be able to replace it by using the case statement. Okay. So how you can replace the null values, right? And if there is null values in the system, and if you have found out the null values, so we can write a when condition again. Okay, when is closed is null. This is the syntax for it. Then we can give some values like not applicable. Okay, so that the system will provide the NEF wherever we are having null values, or we can replace it with any other values, not only in NA. If you want to replace with some other values, that is also possible here. Okay, this is how we can write and frame the case statement. Okay, and if you have any doubts, we can discuss. Else, I'm moving on to the next one, which is co-group. Okay, this is very important topic, the co-group. Why we are using co-group? Here we have a group, but still we are going to use a co-group here. So why we use a co-group? Okay, let me take the opportunity data set. And I am going to take one more data set. Uh, Based out of it, we'll get a result. Okay, let me take the sales data set and opportunity data set, both the data set. If you want to query the opportunity data set and sales data set and get a data out of it, then this is possible. Okay, so before doing anything, there is a plus button here. We can add it. Okay, and add a sales data set here. So now you can see both the data sets has been added, and there is a left blend by default. Okay, what it means is it will consider data set opportunity as our left source and sales data set as our right source, and whatever data which are having in opportunities and matching values from sales data set, it will bring. Okay, likewise we have right blend, inner blend, and outer blend. Okay, So normally we go for left when we'll find out the left source of our main source. Left source will be considered as our main source, and from the right source we'll do it. And what is inner blend is like right blend, from sales data set whatever values we are having, and if we use the right blend, then it will bring all the values from sales data sets and matching values from data set opportunities. Okay, likewise inner blend is always it matches two different values, and based out of it, whenever we have only the matching values, it will bring the matching values in the inner blend. And this is the outer blend. It means it says which is going to bring all the values from opportunities and all the values from sales data set. We don't use it because it will create a performance impact, because when we are dealing with millions of records, right, there is a problem. It brings all the records. So always we need to identify our left source, and based out of it, we'll try to bring the values. Okay. See now, let me switch to compatible so it will be clear. Okay. Now I'm taking just the count of rows. Okay. What it is doing is it's showing the count of rows from opportunities. Okay. Again, what I'm trying to do here, again, if I'm clicking on the plus button and just clicking on count of rows from sales data set. Okay. It means that we can bring the values from sales data set also. We can combine two different data sets and bring the result out of it in one query. See, sales data set is also having same number of rows, which is 706. Okay, both are having same number of values. Okay, and I'm going to take the sum of amount from opportunity data set. Likewise, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take sum of actual revenue from sales data set. Sometimes the same column will not be available in both the data set, right? That is the reason why we are taking the a different column here. This is the revenue and this is the amount, and this is coming from opportunity and this is coming from sales. And I'm going to group by from opportunity, uh, like we can take the stage name, which is having some valid values. And here also we need to take the same field, okay, stage. And I'm going to add. Okay, so it is grouped by stage now, and it is coming from two different opportunities. So why we are using this is, so if there is any difference in the count or amount, it will show. See, the sum of amount is this much and sum of annual revenue is this much, and count of rows from opportunities and count of rows from sales, right? So if there is any difference, right, we can easily identify when we are using two different data sets. And it also combines, suppose if you think the opportunity values does not have sum of annual revenue, that is coming from only the sales data set, right? So some of the columns which are not been available from there, it will be always available in from the different data set. That is why we are using two different data set, right? So for example, if we are taking probability, which is not available from the opportunity data set, but if the same is available from the sales data set, it gives us this query, right? So for the same stage, we are now able to build and combine two different data set. Okay, this is like how we do it. Okay, and if you see the query here, and you switch to the query name, so it uses the opportunity data sets and it uses the sales data set. Both is getting loaded here. And instead of group, it is grouping by co-group, stage name, and it is saying as left because we are doing the left join, and we are using the stage name here. Okay. And finally, this is our output. Output which you are getting, and it is using set because we are getting from two different data sets. Normally when we are using the two different data set, it uses from stage name, it uses the set function because it should not provide any null values. If the q1 dot stage name is null, then it will pick the q2 dot stage name. The idea here is to show all the stage names from opportunity data sets and sales data sets, and what is its count, and what is its amount, and what is its probability, and what is its annual revenue, and it is ordered by stage name. Right, this is how we use the co-group function. So it is very simple way, right? Like by just clicking we are able to do it. But in future, if you want to alter any records, like if you want to query anything, like if you want to add any new values, right, and if you want to combine any calculation, all those things can be done through this SAQL function, right? For example, I have taken a probability here and I have taken the annual revenue. And by using this co-group function, I need to do some calculation here, right? If I want to do sum of amount, right, divided by the count, okay, to get the actual values, okay, for a particular stage, then we can use this. Like we can, for a particular opportunity, if I need to add an opportunity name, what I need to do is I need to group it by, sorry, I need to again co-group it by stage name, right, and opportunity name. So here also this will be left, and why I'm doing this, because I am trying to add in another column here using the opportunity name. This can be possible from the like mainstream itself, but I'm just showing an example like how to use this, right? If you are adding it in a query. So again, we need to use collage function uh, to handle the null values, right? And it says Q1, because Q1 is our mainstream, Q1 dot opportunity name, and here it will be Q2 dot opportunity name, okay? And I will say here as opportunity name, and this will be my actual value. I'll provide it here, and I will run the query here. Okay, this one, there is some error. I'm just trying to remove that error. Q2 dot opportunity name. Okay, there is some problem with this opportunity name. I'm missing something. Q1 by stage name. Opportunity name. Identify opportunity name. Okay, we need to check whether the same thing is available here also, right? Here it's not available. You're able to see the same name is available here, but it is not available in the sales data set. Okay, we need to take the common column and we need to group it by it. So I think opportunity source is available, so we'll use the opportunity source here. Are you able to like get this error? Why we are getting this error is because we don't have the opportunity name in the sales data set. That's why it is throwing the error, right? Here it got changed. That's the problem. So we'll change it here. Okay, now you can see that flow group is getting worked. Like we are able to add one more column with the opportunity source, right? So this is how normally the core group works. So when now, and if you want to see it in a query or a compare table, this will be our final result. Okay. you'll be able to see the values from opportunity data set and also from the sales data set. And along with that, all our measures will be displayed. Like now it is showing A, B, C, D, right? Like that also can be changed. The only thing what we need to do is we need to change the alias name from here. Okay, we'll switch to the query name, and this one is going to show us the amount. This one will be going to show us the amount, which is opportunity amount, right? And this one will be our sales amount. You can just call it as sales, and this will be the probability, and this will be the count. Okay, let us see how it displays now. Okay, now it will be displaying with the values. What is D? D is annual revenue, right? This one also we can change. So we can change the names from here, alias names and everything depends on our requirement. Okay, like whatever requirement we have, we can change the values and it will display the values here. So now it is co-group between stage and opportunities, and we are able to combine two different data sets. Okay, let me save this lens. Okay, um, co-group, opti and sales. Okay, so I'm putting it my private app. Since it is a training, right, like we can keep it in our private app. So this is how we use a co-group. Okay, and one more thing we can see today is limit. Okay, what this limit does. Okay, so normally like whenever we are adding the results in our dashboard, right? So what happens is like it first initially shows only the first 2000 rows, because all the queries, if we are showing millions of records, normally it will have some problem, right? So because it will try to load all the records and your dashboard will be in trouble. So normally it will show only the normalized records, like it will show only the required data, like based on the inputs which we give. Okay. So what we need to do is, so we should ideally take these values and we should display like whatever limit we need. Suppose if there is a request from the customer, since the data is always aggregated, we are going to show only the sum and the count, and we are going to show only the calculations. So it will not exceed more than 2000 rows until we are showing opportunity ID or we are showing the values table, right? So it will be below 2000 only, since we are going to show the aggregated results and we are going to use the global values. And whenever there is a large data set, and if the user want to improve it, then what we can do is we can change it to 5000 here. Okay, when we change it to 5000, so what would will happen, like 500 or 5000. So it's like always recommended to keep it 5000. Don't go beyond 5000 or 2000 until it's a requirement from the user, right? Until if there is a requirement from the user, we should not change it because it might affect the impact and the performance. The best practice always is to check with the stakeholders. If they require only, then we need to go and change it. Otherwise, we should not go and change it. Okay, then there will be a problem for us. Okay, this is all about the co-group. Okay, and why we are using the fill and time series. Okay, and if you want to show the forecasting records, right? If you want to show how we are going to forecast your records and you want to show it in your system, then we will use this fill and this one. Let me show you in one example, so you'll be easily identify why we are using this fill. Okay, so I'm taking the opportunity data set and amount here. So forecastings, what happens, right? Even if the data is not available in our system, right? Even if there is no data is available in our system, but still we want to show our forecasting or what is the actual data which we are receiving on our system, then we'll ideally use this approach. Okay. So now you are able to see, okay, we should not go by close date. We'll take the created date. Okay. It should be based on created date, but created date we have for only 1 month. That will be also not sensible. Uh, We can take some other last activity or last activity date on year and month. Okay, now we have this is also 20, it shows 2029, which is ideally wrong. It's because of some bulk data. Okay, we'll take about last month if date. Okay, that is also 2022. So we don't have actual data here. Mm, let us see any other column which gives us some meaningful data. Okay, there is no meaningful data in this. Let us go for accounts. Okay, we see we have some basic details here at least. Instead of going for opportunities, we'll check for accounts here. The accounts is not having any data. Good. I think we need to have some data to discuss about these two topics. Okay, so what we will do, we'll discuss on tomorrow, and this should be enough for today. Okay, we have seen about case statement and how to replace the values for dimension and measure, and we have seen about co-group and we have seen about limit. The fill and time series, I will add some actual data to the data set, then we can discuss about it. Okay, so if you have any doubts on this topics, please let me know. So what we can do is we can discuss this further.
Yeah, sure, bro.
So you have any doubts on this?
No, bro, we need to practice on this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
Anand, this is very useful, very useful one.
okay. Yeah. Thank you then. Then we'll see tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay, bro.
Bye.
Bye.